folks. Welcome to Economic Observations. My name is Chris. Today is Monday, the 4th of October, and thank you so much for being here. Poof, what a day. Stock market down 1%. That's the Dow. NASDAQ down over 2%, and the S&P down 1.5%. Facebook down 15% from September 7th. Speaking of Facebook, they had an outage today. Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook, it affected 3.6 billion, yes, billion with a B, people around the world. I was on the phone on WhatsApp with a colleague of mine in Tanzania when the outage happened, and we were unable to finish our conversation or even get in touch with each other since the outage. He is now sleeping, so we will take that up tomorrow. But just think about that. 3.6 billion people it affected. People advertise on Facebook. There are ads, there are communications. There is a plethora of ways that people use Facebook. And a lot of marketing people may have been out of a job today with nothing to do. The Facebook outage not only affected the 3.6 billion people, it affected the workers at Facebook. Facebook employees could not access their email accounts. Yep, that's right. You email someone at Facebook, and well, they didn't get it until things resumed. They were also locked out of the office, right? Everyone has these little key cards. You put it on a pad, and it lets you in. Well, a lot of people couldn't even get into the office because the key cards were not working. So just think about that. Facebook, a huge multi-billion-dollar company, right? Owns Instagram, owns WhatsApp. Billions of people use them, and it went down for about 7 hours today. So could that happen to your bank? Could it happen to your Robinhood app? Could it happen to Coinbase or Voyager or whatever other financial app you use? It absolutely can. So just be careful out there, because you need to have, when I tell people, like, have some cash on hand, have some cash on hand. What happens if it's Bank of America and you go grocery shopping and your debit card or your credit card won't work and you can't buy the vital food that you need? Just have some stuff on hand. Have some cash. That's all, because it can happen to any company. You do a minor upgrade, or what you think is a minor upgrade, and it can lock everybody out. So just be careful and just be warned, okay, if it happened. And this is not the first time it's happened, an outage to Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Also, Facebook is under a lot of scrutiny with this insider printing out millions of pages of internal documents saying how Facebook is aware that teenage girls especially are having a hard time with Instagram, and it is causing some severe depression and insecurities within them. And apparently, the more they are insecure, the more they go to the app. Well, I also think that parents play a vital role in this. Be careful what your children are doing on Instagram. Be aware. Maybe you should delete the app off their phone, or not even allow them to have it until they reach a certain age. Anyway, enough on Facebook today. We have Biden warning of a catastrophic debt default, right? So there's still, Congress is failing us. Everything is waiting to, the clock strikes midnight with this debt ceiling, but he warns of a catastrophe should this happen. Jerome Powell and the Fed are expected to start tapering next month. Good luck to them. I think it's a lot of hype, and I don't think they can do it. I know he wants to fight this inflation, but I believe that this inflation is all linked to the supply and demand problems, which are only getting exacerbated. They are not getting any better. There are so many problems with the supply chain, and it all started with the stopping of production and the halting of the economy for a few months. You just can't do that when everything is just in time. It will never resume. Also, Americans and others around the world that were all locked down, instead of spending money on restaurants and vacations and movies and concerts, they bought things for their home. They bought new patio furniture, new living room furniture, desks for their new home office, computers, new phones, and just about anything else that you can imagine. And this was not an expected outcome. And it just threw the supply chain in a very vicious backlog. And it is not getting any better. And these people that work throughout are burnt out. In Long Beach and LA, the union member says that they have been working around the clock and they have lost over 21 people to COVID, and it is taking an emotional and physical strain on all of their workers. They just can't handle it. Also, those two ports in California have not made any investment upgrades. In the past 5 years, they have only spent approximately $1 million, while on the East Coast, $11 million was spent with new cranes and new infrastructure. So those ports in California just don't have the capacity. They are also overwhelmed. Back in like 3 weeks ago, on September 1st, there were 43 container ships out there waiting to be docked. By the end of September, there were over 70. And now I hear there are 91 container ships. And they may be to blame for that ecological disaster out on Huntington Beach. Thoughts are that it was an anchor that was failed to be lifted up when the, the ship started moving, ripped a hole, hundreds of thousands of gallons of crude oil from a rig named Ellie, 8.5 miles off the coast of California, produces oil. And it was attached, that pipeline was from Ellie. A lot of problems going on. The supply chain problem, I don't even know where to begin with the supply chain. Between lockdowns and COVID, and Vietnam is having a really, really tough time with microchips. People can't get them. A cell phone takes 4,000 components to make. If you don't have every one of those 4,000 components, that cell phone can't be put together. If you have 3,999 components and you're missing one, well, you can't put the phone together. And that goes for just about everything today. It's going to take a long, long time. And while we have that long, long time for the shipping and the demand to level off and to finally catch up, prices are going to remain high. It's going to be persistent. Once the shipping price comes down to about $1,800 where it used to be, for a container to get from Asia to California, that price is now over $20,000, $20,586 for one container. It's double what it was in July. And in July, it was double of that what it was in January. So we're seeing some major, major snafus, and those prices are coming to us, and that is what's causing the inflation. Yep. So there is a problem. Some experts in this industry, analysts, don't think it is going to be recovered until March of 2023. Anyway, I got to run on a conference call now. It's been lovely chatting with you. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate you. Stay well, be kind, and don't forget to call someone and tell them you love them. Until next time.